Hello and welcome everybody. It's that time to raise your sriracha to the air and to point your ghost peppers at the moon, as today is a spicy speculation day. As always, let me know all of your spicy speculation as this video is going along in the comments section below. This time the data mine is thanks to Bakugo over on Reddit, and actually they did one last month as well alongside Andrew Barros. If you want to see the last video talking about both the new champion Io and some other spicy stuff, then you can check out that now, but a lot of stuff has been expanded on here, and basically we know way more about the new champion Io. So before we start, the actual hi-rez devs themselves have done some spoilers with Io, because there is a now playing sign saying Io, Guardian from the Moon, in the Bunny Ceres promo image. You can actually see it on the side in this sort of like Vegas Strip type thing. So we do actually have the voice pack here, which I'm going to be going over very shortly and showing some clips of, and also an image of all of their cards so far, although some of them aren't completely finished, and some more descriptions of their abilities which are more complete, and actually some changes from the last spicy speculation. Anyway, first of all is the Q ability. This has been updated and now actually works and summons a Guardian Fox. It's a living deployable with 5,000 to 6,000 health and can be healed. Which this is actually rather big because this deployable can be healed for once. It doesn't move, at least for now, and damages the nearest enemy with a repeating sequence of 3 ranged attacks. It goes 180 damage, 180 damage, then a delay, then 350 damage, and then it goes on repeat from that 100, then 350. Now, something revealed with the voice lines is that the pet's name, the fox, the Guardian Fox, is called Luna.
Time to go, Luna.
Which means the moon, but more importantly, if anyone's watched my streams, and if you haven't, you've been missing out, as I often show off my pet cat called Luna. She's a little cutie, a little grey cutie, and well, actually tried to recreate this ability to the best of my ability here. The fate of the realm depends on you, Luna. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does, Looney Buns. Anyway, this is actually rather interesting, as in closed beta, Ying used to be a damage champion, and the 2 illusions actually looked onto enemies and did damage to them like Barrack. They're almost like a damaged Barrack. Now, this seems to be kind of a weaker version of that, with a tankier sort of illusion, this sort of deployable that goes out, and for the fact that it can be healed to go ahead and do damage for you. It isn't a high amount of damage, but that tankiness, the 6,000 health, and the fact that it can be healed means that you could probably keep this up around a corner or somewhere where you can't see whilst you're firing your bow down an alleyway, basically keeping both of them up at the same time, which is rather interesting, we haven't really seen before. The ultimate also in the last data mine was just like the Ceres ultimate that dragged people into a circle, like a pulsing sort of ball thing. However, this has been updated. Now it travels and drags enemies along with it and into it as it is traveling along, and then when it hits a wall or floor, it explodes and deals 600 and then another 600 damage to them. It does seem to deal 600 damage twice at the same time to each enemy, and the projectile is a bit weird at the moment, so it probably is unfinished, they mention in this data mine. However, this sounds like a much more powerful version of the Ceres ultimate. I'm going to guess that the pull range will probably be less than the Ceres ultimate, but more the fact that it is traveling and it can do this extra damage is going to be what makes it a little bit special. It'll be interesting as well, having this ultimate going off, dragging them into your Guardian Fox, if you try and aim it at your Guardian Fox to do that extra damage whilst they're in this ultimate. Getting hit by your Guardian Fox as well, sort of wombo comboing that, but also with all of your allies' ultimates too, and all of your allies' abilities. However, it's also more like a void grip, so the enemies aren't disabled whilst they are pulled into this ability. However, they are crippled, so they can't dodge roll out of it or move out of it, but they can still fire and use abilities whilst they are in this ultimate. So yes, I think this is going to be rather powerful, even if it isn't a complete stun. It's going to drag people along, do that almost 1.2k damage, which may be wrong, it might just be 600 in the end, but either way, that is quite a destructive ultimate in the realm. Her right mouse button, this was the Moonlight, the heal beam, the Moonlight that heals around 800 per second. That could only be used whilst aiming at enemies, which you couldn't miss, but you also couldn't auto aim on, lock onto people. And the F, the backwards jump, similar to Buck's but in the opposite direction, have not changed. However, we can also now see all of their cards. We could see some of them in the last patch, but some more are more finished this one because some of them say they're not functional yet, but we can talk about these. We also have a glimpse at a couple of the talent cards now. These aren't finished either. One of them just has a name, one has nothing, and then the other one has a name and a description. So the last one, which is actually quite interesting, Ayo's ability talent Last Stand. This is like the old Grok Ghost Walk talent where you could be invulnerable for a little while. So basically, if you take lethal damage whilst the fox is up, this Guardian Fox, you trade places, heal, and the fox dies in your stead, which is actually really, really interesting, seeing as the fox 5,000 to 6,000 health, so it is rather tanky. So it's almost like having a second life. It depends how much it actually heals you when you get to there. Is it healing to full? That's a question mark, but it's kind of like a bit of a work on the old Grok talent where you're invulnerable. However, this one is kind of more predictable. As long as you know where the fox is, you know where the Ayo is going to jump to. And I'm guessing because the fox is stationary, it's not always going to be in the best position because you're not always going to want to go back to that. Unless the Ayo puts it like near their spawn or something, and then dies and gets dragged back to their spawn. That could be rather overpowered if they keep being dragged back to their spawn room or closer to their spawn somewhere safe rather than dying. It could be like a second chance. Although, I mean, for example, Genos pretty much doesn't die during the game anyway because it can heal through walls and sort of just run away. But that could be a rather big effect on the match. The second one is called Ayo Ability Talent Fox Heal. There's actually something in the cards related to this. The other one is just completely out. Anyway, let's go into the cards. So the first line of cards on the Guardian, they don't actually have names yet. So the first one is not functional yet apparently, but reduces a cooldown of Rush by 1.2 seconds, which I'm guessing is when you use the ability Guardian rather than, I don't think it's in the description yet. The second one, increase your spirit's deploy range by 20%. So you're just going to be able to place it longer. The third one is interesting. So while near your Guardian Fox, restore 2% of Moonlight every 1 second. So this is going to be changed when the Aura talent is made. So I was thinking that perhaps the Aura talent is going to be a bit like the talent for Imani, where you stand, the mana pool one, where you stand inside the circle. If you stand still, then you gain your mana. Perhaps here you get your Moonlight back whilst you are stood near your Guardian. So it could work a bit like that, and like a ring. And the Moonlight is something that has a charge. It's a heal that has a charge that you use and it depletes. A bit like the Grok Spirit Domain, if you're using the weapon, it depletes. So recharging this could be rather important if you're a main healer. Although I would think that this probably has a little less of the problem that Imani has, in the fact that the circle would probably be bigger, whereas standing still as an Imani is kind of dangerous to get yourself killed. The last one is reduce your cooldown of your Guardian Spirit's initial deploy by 1.6 seconds at each level. That's just, you know, a reduction in that ability. Next up is reduce the F cooldown by 0.6 seconds. This is the jump back. The next one is dropping below 15% of your max health, reduces a cooldown of F by 100%. So I reckon this is going to be like the other cards where it's 15, 30, 45, etc. So it's sort of like a reset and has a timer, although it doesn't have a timer in here, like a cooldown timer. The next one is gain 100 shield for 3 seconds when you use F, so when you use your escape. Don't know whether that'd be very powerful. And then finally, one that restores ammo when you escape. Quite normal, quite just generic ones there. Next up is on the right mouse button, which is the Moonlight, the heal. So generate 1% Moonlight when not firing the right mouse button. It doesn't fully function yet, listed by the card. That's rather interesting. Next up is successful hits heal Ayo for 10 health at each level. So this is just like a self-sustain heal card. I'm guessing this will be in a lot of the heal decks, but we'll have to see. Next one, successful hits reduce the cooldown of Guardian Spirit by 0.1 seconds. Again, interesting. Finally, allies gain 8% movement speed while being healed by right mouse button. This one also could be rather important, although I don't know how long you'll keep the beam on somebody and how long this movement speed could be important. And if they have the movement speed, are they going to break the line of sight and go around a corner or something? We'll just have to see. Okay, next up, this is just armor weapon. These ones are just generic. So increase health by 50 at each level. So again, a little bit of tankiness. Next up, lower your gravity, increase your air control by 50% while firing your right mouse button. This is your Moonlight. So I'm guessing this can go up. I don't know what like a percentage will go up, maybe 50, 60%. I mean, if it's 100%, that'd be rather crazy. But I think this is going to be rather interesting. If you're healing somebody and jumping around and dodging and being quite like hard to hit, it's going to be hard for an enemy to track you down without having, say, a flank or something that can follow you into the air. So that could be rather interesting, actually. That may be a card that people pick up with a few levels into it. And there's also one, lower your gravity, increase your air control by 50% while firing your light bow. So between both of these, you could be extremely annoying when you're using your main fire ability, and also when you're healing. It could make a very jumpy, very dodgy healer there. Finally, hits with the light bow restore 2% of your moonlight. This is your heal. So again, you could actually be like sort of damaged to heal. But then again, I don't know how much in the match, like healers often are healing more than they're firing, so I don't know how valuable this card would be. Anyway, those are all of the cards, and I'm just going to go through a few of the voice lines, as there's quite a few interesting ones, some referring to her tail and stuff.
Time to go, Luna. You have not visited in some time. Even the smallest being can alter the course of the future. Let our grace pass on to you, to protect, to save, to fight. At night, we see all. We never wanted to see that. Don't touch the tail. It takes an eternity to get it looking this good. The corruption mustn't win. What have you done? I once knew a joke, but now. How did it go? Careful, we bite. Io! Oh, good job, Luna. Oh, craters. Their course is set. Leave this realm. May this protect you. Take our light.
Anyway, so
may you finally rest. The pyre has no power over us.
we can get a lot from the character as well, but by the theme of light and moonlight. So the ability 1, the heal, says light protects you basically. The ability 2, the fox goes out to protect, like it names it, and the pet's name is Luna. This Genos sign, sort of, the Genos travels, may have been a very, very long time ago, and part of the speculation at the moment is that the statue inside the new map Bazaar is actually Io, and that could actually make sense if she is the sort of goddess protector, and also in this data mine, the title is the Broken Goddess, perhaps. So it could very well be that Luna is the character shown on the statue. Although it could just be that that's just one of a sect, a bit like the Warders with Amani. But this sort of indicates that she may very well be very old, seeing as Genos is also kind of an ancient one. And she's good. There's loads of lines about light protecting the realm, and that they don't really want to fight, but they have to. The card specific one's interesting with the what have you done. I don't know whether this refers to, like where she's talking about Genos, the sort of siege on Ascension's Peak, or whether it's talking about their attack on the temple. I think Khan actually leads with Lian, the army that goes towards the End Times temple in Shattered Desert. These Imani specific one's quite odd. It says the corruption mustn't win. Is this another reference to the End Times and Atlas and the idea of trying to stop the corruption? The Furious specific one is interesting that with the Pyre has no power over us. Seeing as they sort of worship these sort of fox deities and the moon, kind of a bit of a clash of religions here between the Pyre, which is sort of, I guess, more traditional, sort of like a light-based religion on the, I guess, the sun. Whereas the moon is also a light-based religion, but on the moon and on animals and anthropomorphic things. It's kind of more like paganism versus Christianity or any of the major religions, made the big three. And then finally, the dredge, may you finally rest, was quite like, I think that it shows how nice Io is, and she's kind of like just part of nature and part of just the natural good, in that she just has pity over Dredge, or what he's become. She doesn't hate him, she just has pity. Of course, let me know all of your spicy speculation on Io, the next champion coming, and be sure to let me know what you think about Luna. Do you think that she could make it as a skin? I think that she could very well do. Anyway, let's move on to the other things that are coming. So there are some skins. So there's actually Pirate Lex and a Pirate Io. So again, we talked about a pirate event maybe coming very soon in the last patch, and actually in Steelforged, the Steelforged Androxus is an old Androxus concept that was shown before they showed off the pirate concept. So it could be that they're going from the Dragon Knight to the old pirate concepts, finally getting around to them. And I would be actually really interested to see whether these ones are like the old pirate themes. There's actually, I think there was actually a Pirate Lex one. I'll dig out the picture if I have it, which will go here. Pirate Io is quite interesting. They do seem to want to get out skins straight away for the new champions, seeing as the new champions seem to be very, very popular, like Imani, like Atlas, like Furia. So that's another theme here. And then there's also another event, or maybe just theme going on here coming soon, and that is a Western theme, like I guess cowboys and that sort of thing, with a Western Khan, Western Tyra, and Western Western Strix. I can very much imagine Strix with just sort of like a gunslinger's hat on and all of that, but I can't necessarily picture the others. Maybe Tyra will be like a sheriff or something, or Khan might even be a giant sheriff with a big hat and like wearing like a white suit or something. I could see that working. Finally, there's Golden Io, but they do seem to be, like, again, they're trying to get out as many skins for the new champions as possible, and the golden skins actually do seem to come out pretty quickly. And then all of the other stuff I mentioned in the last video. So there's some other stuff which is very work in progress, which is probably not coming anytime soon, but there's some new text that looks like a champion's name and title. However, this seems to be placeholder because it's called Prumbus, the boy who forgot. So it might just be a test champion or something, but there's an Evil Mojo employee named Evil Mojo Prumbus. So probably not the name of the actual champion, but the boy who forgot might actually be something to do with that. Like, it may be to do with time travel. It might be that something happened with time travel with the end times, and there's a champion that comes back in time and forgets who he is. I don't know, it could be something like that. That's very spicy though. So anyway, summing it up, the new champion Io, basically pretty much fully fleshed out now, and we get to see pretty much everything that they do, and it sounds rather awesome. I think they're going to be a rather fun champion to play. Don't know whether they're going to be meta or not. I do like the idea of a drawing bow, so it's like a Charlene but a healer, and with lots of jumpiness, almost like a Pips bounce. That sounds spicy. Spicy plays. And also a pirate event and a western event, and also their Golden Io. Alongside soon the summer event too, but I've talked about those ages ago. Anyway, let me know all of your spicy speculation in the comments section below and all of your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, folks. Joshino.